I told you about a lot of cozy games coming in March 2023. Well, now it's time to tell you what I actually thought about them. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Payton. It is nice to meet you, it is nice to see you, and welcome to the corner. Over the course of March, I have tested out a lot of these new games that I told you about. Of course, not all of them, but I did my best, and what I want to do today is give you a first impressions review of some of the games that came out this month, and let you know which ones I think are worth buying, which ones I think are not worth buying, and mainly kind of just giving you a first impressions, pros and cons about each game, and let you know what I've been enjoying the most. Obviously, I couldn't get to every single game I wanted to play, so if you're interested in hearing about even more cozy games, definitely be sure to check out my Instagram, as I've been posting a lot about my updated game progress and new things I've been trying over there. Okay, but before we get into today's video, please be sure to click the lovely little like button, as well as subscribe. We just hit 10,000 subscribers over here in the corner, so thank you so much. If you haven't already subscribed, you could be a part of our cozy, chaotic family. We'd love to have you. Okay, I'll shut up and let's get into the review. In my videos, I don't ever like to say, yes, you absolutely, without a doubt, should buy this, or no, you absolutely should not buy this game. I want to be supportive of all games and all types of gamers, so what I want to do is tell you the things I like and dislike about each of the games, and from there, based off of those things, you can kind of decide for yourself if you think it's going to be worth buying for you, or if you think it's not worth buying because there are so many other cozy games, and we don't need to buy them all. The first game I want to tell you a little bit about is Bayonetta Origins, CEREZA, and the Lost Demon. Now, when I first saw footage of this game a few months ago when I reacted to the Nintendo Direct, I was not sure what to think. Being a cozy gamer who is not very into the combat,
Let's go. Can I just go at it? I'm just going at it. Combat queen. Am I the combat queen? Oh, there's multiple.
when I saw the trailer for this one, it looked totally different for me, and it intrigued me immediately. CEREZA and the Lost Demon follows a young girl, CEREZA, who is a young witch in training. Unfortunately, her mother has been imprisoned, and so it's her job to go rescue her mother and learn and grow as a witch. In trying to defend herself from evil fairies, because apparently they're evil fairies and they live in the woods, CEREZA accidentally summons a demon, and that demon takes possession of her favorite toy, a stuffed cat named Cheshire. And so the game is really unique in the fact that it follows you and Cheshire. You as a solo player are controlling both of them at the exact same time, and both of them have different special abilities and attack moves. Now, like I said, I was not sure about if I was even gonna play this game, if I thought that coziness and combat can be synonymous, or if they really can't be. But I decided to test this game on live stream, and I was insanely shocked at how much I enjoyed this game. Now, if you're a cozy gamer like me and you don't know anything about Bayonetta, you don't need to have played any of the other Bayonetta games to enjoy this one. Without a doubt, my favorite part of the game is the insanely gorgeous, dare I say whimsical, my favorite word, art style. The art style of this game is what drew me to it. The other thing I loved about this game is it is entirely voice acted. And for me, especially being someone who does quite a bit of live streams, voice acting is so great because I don't have to read everything. Maybe it's me. Hi, I'm the problem, it's me. I don't want to read, I think. Overall, though, my favorite part of the game is the different mechanics that you get to utilize. I really love this idea of two separate characters that you get to control. It absolutely can be confusing, I'm not gonna lie, but the game does a really good job of giving you some options to make it easier for yourself. For example, the game will ask you along the way if you want to turn on some different settings to make things easier for yourself. As someone who has no idea what she's doing during combat, I actually really enjoyed the combat in this one. It feels very strategic because you're trying to utilize both characters to get the best effect. Although there is definitely a lot of combat, the combat does not equal the whole game. There are so many other things that are just as big as the combat. Mainly, it's the exploration and the puzzle solving. But I will tell you some of the negative things about this game. The main con I have for the game, I enjoy, but I think that not everyone would enjoy. And it is the mechanic of controlling both characters at the same time. this can be very confusing. Because it's so involved, I feel like it is less relaxing than other games I would call cozy. The only other main con I have about the game so far is saving the game is a little annoying. The game every so often will save on its own. However, mainly they want you to save at these checkpoints. I've noticed every time I play the game, it takes me like 10 minutes extra to save it. Overall, do I think you should buy Bayonetta Origins? I think you should buy Bayonetta Origins if you are a cozy gamer who is into combat, but not into super crazy heavy combat. Or if you're a cozy gamer who kind of wants to dabble into some other kinds of games, I think this is a really good one for you. I think if you like things with a magical undertone, you'll enjoy this one. And if you enjoy narrative, voice-acted adventures, I think this one is a good one to check out. The next game on the list, with a completely different tone, is called Taranil. I was very kindly sent a review key a little early, so I got to check this one out. Thank you so much to Developer Digital for sending me this key. I really appreciate it so much, and I'm glad to be able to include the game on my list of reviews. Taranil is a PC game, pretty much a building game in reverse. The game follows you bringing life back to a lifeless world by purifying soil, cleaning oceans, planting trees, trying to find wildlife, but then recycling all of the things you've used to build up the land and leaving it be in its natural state. What I really was excited about for this game is the fact that it does pay such a heavy focus on wildlife, the environment, and nature. I thought that was really interesting. Also seeing that a portion of the proceeds of the game is donated to a wildlife foundation. I would love to see more games do something like how this one does. That being said, let me tell you what I actually thought about playing the game. Now, I knew that this game was not a decorative builder like other games that I'm used to. This game is meant to teach you about the environment, and it's supposed to mainly give you the satisfying feeling of taking something destroyed, putting everything you have into it, and then cleaning it up and looking what happens. It's definitely more of a strategy, almost puzzle kind of game. And to be honest, I do kind of have some mixed opinions about this one, but let me break it down with what I liked about the game, what I think really works, and then what I don't really like so much about this game. My favorite part of this game is definitely the concept. I love this focus on the environment. I love that it's educational. I also like that there are different game modes. One of the complaints I've heard about this game is that it is a little bit short, which it can be once you take the land from 0 to nothing. You can do that pretty fast depending on how you do it. But what's cool about the game is there are the different modes to check out, and each time you play, the land you're given is generated differently. So you can play this a bunch of times and you'll never have the exact same terrain. Let me tell you the things that I didn't really like about this game. I think for me, the biggest thing is the limitations you have in the game. The point is to restore the environment, and that is great. However, I think I did hunger for a little bit more customization, but it is kind of difficult to get everything right. Even though I was playing the free mode, I found that I couldn't even get my build to be fully restored and fully recycled because of the choices that I made early on in my placement, not really knowing that you kind of have to think about where everything goes, and it's not so much a free builder where you can just place things wherever you want. Everything kind of does have to have a purpose, and I think that my impression of what the game was gonna be was just a little bit different from what it actually was. But I will say, even if you don't do everything right, like me, it does still make for a satisfying experience along the way, and you can try and try again a million times, so if you don't plan everything out right like me, you can always give it another go. Overall, would I recommend buying Taranil? I would recommend Taranil to anybody who's really interested in the mechanics of nature and the environment, and someone who has a deep interest for getting to know those things personally. I wouldn't recommend this game to someone who just wants a no-think builder. This one isn't that, but there are tons of other games like that. This one is definitely its own unique thing. The next game on the list is one of my most anticipated games of the year. I've talked about this game so much, and I finally got the chance to play it. So here I am, finally telling you that I actually played Raccoon Deluxe. I was also very kindly sent a key to try this game early as well, so thank you so much to Morizora Studios for sending me the key to try this one early. I appreciate it so much. Raccoon Deluxe features a couple different components. It features the main game of Rakuen, which is actually not a brand new game. It's been out for a couple years on PC, but this is its Nintendo Switch debut. The new game, Mr. Saitou, which happens in the same universe as the story of Rakuen. And in addition to all of this, Raccoon Deluxe also features a film set that follows some of the different characters you see through the two games. Rakuen is a beautiful and emotional adventure game that follows a young boy who lives in the hospital. Through his time in the hospital, his mom comes to visit him very frequently, and she reads him stories from his favorite storybook that is passed down through their family, and it's called Rakuen. The boy finds out that Rakuen is actually a real place, and he has the power to visit it along with his mom by his side. The main thing, though, about this story that the boy loves and is excited about is there is a creature called Morizora who is able to grant people wishes, and he tries his best to find Morizora to get his one wish. Now, the twist is that Morizora has been asleep for a long time, and the only way to wake him up is to learn a song to sing that will hopefully wake him up. But the only way to learn the song is to help different people with tasks and get to know their stories. What's really cool about this game is the stories that you're helping out are people who live in the hospital with the boy. On his floor, there are some other characters that live there. There's a cranky old man. There is a tragic couple where the wife is in the coma and the husband waits for her every day. There is a young girl. There are tons of different characters, but they also exist as creatures in Rakuen. And so it's your job through puzzles, exploration, adventure, narrative, and a lot of fun, you get to learn about their stories and help them out, therefore also helping them out in the real world. Probably the most beautiful game I have ever played. I'm halfway through, so there is still quite a bit to go. It's really amazing, and let me be specific and tell you why. You feel like you are in a movie the entire time. The characters are so unique and so whimsical and so much fun. The music is also absolutely stunning. What I think is so nice about Rakuen that I enjoy the most is the story is emotional, but it's not like a bummer. It's not a bummer. I've definitely played other like emotional games before that are intending to tug at your heartstrings, and they do, but they're just sad the whole time that you like don't want to do it. This game is not a bummer. Even though there are tragic things happening to all of these characters, they are so full of life. And another thing I really like is the amount of content. They say that the playthrough of Rakuen is about 10 hours. I feel like that's a really good amount of content just for the base game. There's also more. Now let me tell you some of the cons so it can help you decide if this game is right for you. So the game has a lot of puzzles. They're difficult. or I'm stupid, or I'm stupid and I might be stupid. I don't even want to admit to you that I've Googled the answers to some of the puzzles. I like it because I don't want to just breeze through the game. And then the only other con I would say is the subject matter. You know, I would say with any game, especially a game that deals with real serious subject matter, I would say just, you know, do some research for yourself a little bit before you play the game. That's not just the only part of this deluxe edition. Admittedly, I have not played Mr. Saitou yet. Mr. Saitou is a shorter game that you also get in addition to Rakuen with this deluxe version. Mr. Saitou is a couple hours experience, and though it takes place in the same world of Rakuen, it's a totally different feeling. It is a more lighthearted and quirky and funny feel. So I actually really do want to play Mr. Saitou immediately after I finish Rakuen. Overall, would I suggest that you purchase Raccoon Deluxe? Yeah. Yes, but I would suggest Raccoon Deluxe Edition for someone who is interested in a cinematic, beautiful experience, isn't afraid to be a little emotional, but overall is someone who wants to solve some puzzles and riddles and get transported to a magical world. I wouldn't recommend it for someone who maybe the subject matter might be too much for them. I definitely recommend if you're on the fence about the subject matter, maybe check out Mr. Saitou first, as it is the more lighthearted, quirky version, and then from there you can see if you want to dive into the bit deeper of a world of Rakuen. The next game on the list is definitely one of the biggest releases of this month, and this game is called Sunhaven. Right now, Sunhaven is only available on PC, but it is supposed to come to Switch, hopefully sometime soon. Sunhaven is a fantasy farming sim game with magic, dragons, main quest lines, RPG-style skill progression, final bosses, customization, fishing, mining, cooking, crafting, exploration, romance, and more. Pretty much, Sunhaven is your traditional farming sim game, think like Stardew Valley, but also magic. Overall, I've really enjoyed Sunhaven so far. However, I have just scratched the surface, even though I have played this game for many hours at this point. Without a doubt, my favorite part of Sunhaven is the initial character customization. When you start the game, you get to pick, of course, what you look like, your hair, your skin color, all that good stuff. But most importantly, you get to pick if you want to be an elf, if you want to be a mermaid, if you want to be a demon, like a werewolf, like all of these options. You get to pick who the heck you want to be. And I think that's really unique and cool in itself. But also, you get to pick what kind of job you want to have. You get to pick between, being a traditional farmer, being a rancher, so many different things right off the bat, to the point where I feel like you can play this game multiple times and be a lot of different people, and it would be a good time. The art style of this one is a pixel game, but it feels like very elevated, and it mixes a very kind of cutesy character style with a more adult portrait style for the characters, which I think is nice. It's a main quest line for you to follow. Admittedly, I am not that far in that yet, but there are also about 1 million characters in this giant town, and they all have about 1 million side quests they want from you. And also, you can romance people. I really like the fact that there is not an energy bar in this game. So that means you can smash rocks all day, and you're gonna be fine. And overall, I really like how big the world feels so far. I've only gotten to experience the actual plot that's happening in Sunhaven, which already feels really big, and sometimes I get lost, but there's also places outside of Sunhaven you eventually will be able to discover as well. So I really like that it feels like it is absolutely full of content. So now let's get into some of the things I didn't really enjoy about Sunhaven. Definitely, I would say it has a bit of a slow start. Many hours already, and I feel like I haven't done anything as far as the main quest line goes, which isn't necessarily a bad thing if you're someone who wants a more relaxing gameplay experience and you don't really want to rush to the plot. But maybe it's because I knew I was playing the game to also review it in this video. I kind of wanted to get a little bit closer to the plot a little bit faster. Another con I have about the game is I have experienced a few bugs so far. Nothing crazy yet, and it's new, and I imagine, they're always working on fixing things. One strange bug that I have is I have 2 houses. That's fine. While that's not hurting me, it's just there. And sometimes I notice that the loading screens take quite a little bit of time. I think I had the game crash twice as well, but nothing super crazy. Overall, I do really like Sunhaven. I think there is still a lot for me to explore, and I would say I like it at this point, but it feels still so new, even though I've gotten a little bit into it. But overall, I would recommend Sunhaven to someone who likes farming sim games. The next game on the list is also available for both Switch and for PC. I played this one on Switch, and this one is called Storyteller. Storyteller is a puzzle game about building stories. You start with a title, settings, characters, and create a story that fits the story's description. You get to play with stories about love, intrigue, crime, monsters, betrayal, and more. So it is a puzzle game. You're given an empty comic strip, usually with a setting or setting options and characters you can utilize. And each comic strip will have a title of what you're meant to do. Definitely have pros and cons to this one. So let's start out with the pros and what I really enjoyed about Storyteller. I think overall the variety of the puzzles is really fun, and they are very funny. I like the animation when you figure it out and you get it right and you see the characters change and they do the thing that they're meant to do. It definitely has a lot of humor to it. It definitely doesn't take itself too seriously, which I really like. This is a game that you can kind of just turn on, not think too hard about it, but it's a puzzle game. You're thinking a little bit, but it's just funny, and it definitely brought me some laughs on days I was super stressed. I also really like, there are multiple different ways where you can solve the puzzle. It'll circle next to the prompt, and it'll tell you there is also another way you can solve this, so you can go back in and play the puzzles again for a little bit more extra gameplay time, and to get a little bit of variety, make you think about how you can solve the prompt differently. The first con, I don't like to always say is a con, because I don't think it's a bad thing. The game is short. The game is quite short. The game is about $15, and it only kind of takes you like 2 hours to get through, to be honest. It is something to note, especially once you kind of complete the game. You kind of complete the game. I really wish that there was a sandbox or creation mode in this game where you got to create your own comic strips and, you know, make your own puzzles for people to solve, but there isn't that element of the game. So overall, would I recommend Storyteller? I would. I think it's a fun game, like I said, either to play by yourself, or I think it would be so much fun to play with other people, but I wouldn't recommend it to someone who's looking for a more long-form puzzle game, as well as someone who is very, very skilled at puzzles. You might breeze through this one quite quickly, but if you're someone that doesn't care about the length, you're just there for the content and what the game is, then I think you will enjoy this. And the final game on the list is a PC game that I've personally been so excited about, and this one is just an early access version, but this game is Ogu and the Secret Forest. I played the demo of Ogu and the Secret Forest a few months ago as a part of Steam Fest, and now I finally got to purchase the early access version. In case you're unfamiliar, Ogu and the Secret Forest is an adorable adventure game that follows baby Ogu going on an adventure to save the world. You do this by solving puzzles and meeting adorable characters. Overall, this game is absolutely adorable. Let me tell you specifically what I liked and what I didn't like. My number one pro about this game, it's cute, okay? It's cute. You're baby Ogu, and you are traveling through this adorable hand-drawn world, and there are so many other adorable creatures for you to meet along the way. There's customizations for Ogu, so your way through the different areas of the map. There are also points where you get to stop, and baby Ogu will draw the space around him and use it as like a keepsake memory, and I think that's so cute. I love that this game balances adventure and has all of the classic adventure game kind of things, but also just like the most wholesomeness in the world. For example, when you need to recharge your XP in the game, you do it by dancing. Also, sometimes there are puzzles that you need to solve that are too complicated for you as baby Ogu to solve, so you can call your friends with their different abilities to come in and help you. And literally he just like dials his phone and calls his friends, and it's the cutest thing in the entire world. And also, you can play the game on normal mode or literally baby mode, which is what I played it on, which means that you don't die. Now, the cons about this game, the main cons I have are the game isn't finished yet, which is totally fine. It's an early access version. I did exclusively play this game on the Steam Deck. And out of all of the PC games mentioned, this was the best one that ran on Steam Deck. This game was like made for the Steam Deck, I think. However, I don't know if this was a Steam Deck problem or if this was just a general problem. None of the cutscenes will load. Instead, there is like a static screen of nothingness. Another thing I didn't enjoy, which I don't know if it was a bug or me being stupid, I couldn't figure out some of the mechanics, specifically the calling the friends. Whenever I would call the friends, they wouldn't come. Overall though, I really like this game. I think this game actually has a lot of content in it for it being an early access version. The puzzles are fun, and some of them are actually really difficult, and I probably needed some help on them. And if the puzzles are too complicated, there are also other things for you to do. What's really cool about Ogu and the Secret Forest is there is the main quest line for you to follow, but there are tons of side quests and tons of side characters for you also to get entangled with as well. So would I recommend Ogu and the Secret Forest? I would recommend Ogu and the Secret Forest for a cozy gamer who likes adventure, a little bit of combat, not too much, and overall someone that just wants something really cute that also makes you think a little bit. And there you guys have it. Those were 6 cozy games that I tried in the month of March, that came out in the month of March, and my first impressions review on them. Overall, I really liked each one of the games. I definitely enjoyed some games more than others though. Right now, just kind of reflecting on this list, I will tell you my favorites on the list are Bayonetta Origins and Raccoon Deluxe. However, I do really like all of the games included, and I'm really glad that I've gotten the chance to get to know them. I think some of them will become my favorites as I get a little bit further in, and I'm really excited to keep playing these guys and give them a little bit more attention to see how they end. But I want to know your thoughts. What games did you play this month, and what did you think? And if you played any of the games that I mentioned today, what did you think? Thank you all so much for watching. Please be sure to click the lovely little like button on your way out, as well as subscribe for more cozy, chaotic content. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.